Hi everyone, my name is Varinder and I am a QEAC certified education counselor at Aussizz Group Collins Street branch. So today we are here live with Charles Darwin University, and in this live session we will discuss about the courses, scholarships offered by Charles Darwin University, their eligibility criteria and available intakes. As you all know that CDU is a dual sector university providing both vocational and higher education in the same institution. Students can move from the CDU International College or Vocational Education and Training to higher education studies to upskill and cross-skill as they traverse future relevant career pathways. So in today's live session, we have Cheryl with us, who is a regional marketing manager at Charles Darwin University. So first of all, Cheryl, can you please tell us something about CDU?
Hi, thank you for your introduction. And yes, I'm a regional marketing manager here. Glad to be with you guys today. So at CDU, we're a sustainable, innovative, creative university located in Northern Australia. We also have a campus in Sydney. And we teach over 20,000 students from more than 69 different countries. Yes, we offer our programs that are, like you mentioned, in vet programs as well as higher education, and we have higher degree by research. So CDU is ranked in Australia for #2 in graduate salary and full-time employment rates, according to the Good Universities Guide 2021. So there's definitely a great return on investment for our students going out of our programs and into the workforce. We also are very work integrated. Our students have opportunities to build long-lasting relationships with their tutors and peers, and they enjoy a high level of access to online learning resources and experience quality professional placements, which allow students to apply their learning in real-world context. So CDU courses that provide professional placements include nursing and midwifery, engineering, health, business, and accounting. And also education. So we have a very broad range of programs available. I think at last count, I had about 120 programs and pathways for international students. Those include things in business and accounting. We have education and support, conservation and land management, creative arts and industries, culinary arts, education, emergency and disaster management, engineering. We've got environmental sciences, exercise and sports science, health and beauty, health sciences, hospitality, humanities, Indigenous knowledges, IT and network engineering, law and legal studies, psychological science, and tourism and hospitality. So yes, there's a great wide range of programs to take. Students will certainly become engaged in the community. Darwin is a really fantastic, open and welcoming location. Darwin's about 160,000 people, but so it's a smaller community, but it's one where you're going to be known by your name, in your classroom, because we have small class sizes, about 25 students per class for higher ed, about 14 students per class for our vet programs, and even outside, in the community. So really the important thing for an international student to do when they get to Darwin is to get out and meet people as much as they can. It's really, the Darwin community is really about just knowing the right people and to kind of help you get into the careers that you're looking for.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for providing us such a valuable information. So I request all the students, if you want to ask any question about CDU, if you have any confusion about the courses, you can drop your comment in the live session. You can drop your comment there, and we can ask the questions from Cheryl, and she will definitely provide us the good answers for your inquiries. So we are here. We can tell you anything about the admission criteria. So if you have any confusions, you can drop the question in the chat box. So Cheryl, now we will move to the next question. So at the moment, everyone is surviving very badly. So I just want to ask, how the CDU is doing, how they are helping international students during this pandemic.
Yes, well, the one good thing about COVID-19 in the Northern Territory is that it basically doesn't exist. There's never been any active, local transmitted cases within the territory, not a single one. So, it can definitely be argued that the Northern Territory is perhaps one of the safest places in the world to be. And yes, all of the confirmed cases, as of the 30th of March, there was 109 confirmed cases, and there were 2 active overseas cases and no deaths. So it's really been pretty fantastic to be in the territory. You're going to live a life that's pretty normal. We've done a lot around helping our students during COVID-19. I would say that, probably that the biggest things that we've done have been our support services. So we partnered with the Australian government on an initiative called Money Smart. That's helping our students to understand and manage finances. And the website has specific resources for students around COVID-19. There's also been a lot of food and job support for our international students. So there's the Australian government's Jobs Hub, and that is basically connecting job seekers to employers, and this very dynamic job market. In the territory right now, there's a huge shortage of workers in hospitality and at the hotels particularly. So there's definitely jobs going, for people. You need to be sure to have the right level of English in order to find, jobs in the territory. But, if you've got the English, then, usually it's not such an issue in finding employment. And particularly during the dry season. So like going in for the semester 2 intake is particularly good. We also have we call Kindness Shake, and that was a community-led initiative that it is still providing free weekly meals to students who are affected by COVID-19, especially our international students. So that was led by one of our alumni, got that going, and yes, it's been a wonderful initiative. Still, they're doing those meals. Also, there's legal support. So anyone that's experiencing legal issues as a result of tenancy arrangements relating to COVID-19, CDU has a referral process with the Tenant Advice Service and Specialist Services based at the Darwin Community Legal Service. So there's also that available. And then, of course, we have all of our normal student support services that we offer regardless of COVID or not. Personal support, particularly the mental health counseling program, is very good at CDU, and we give students up to 6 appointments per year with the counselor, which is quite generous for universities. And if students need more help beyond those 6 appointments, that team will make sure that you're referred to the right place to go for additional assistance. We also have career and employment counseling team to help our students understand how to find employment when they get to the territory. And of course, academic support is particularly valuable. So a lot of our students were doing online studies, and CDU is one of the leading providers of online studies in Australia. We've been doing it for more than 20 years. And the reason for that is because if you look at CDU, we're a university that covers a huge territory, one single university covering this huge territory of students. And many of our students, particularly our domestic students, are based in these regional locations where they don't have access to a campus. So they have been doing their online studies. They do their entire program online. And so we have demonstrated and certainly we have very experienced lecturers and professors delivering online education successfully to students for 20 years. And then, yes, we've got also our international support team assisting our students with intermission and study load management while, we're in this COVID situation.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for providing us such a valuable information. I hope the students will get now more clarification about NT, about the job prospectus, and about, their will get the more clarity about CDU as well. We really didn't know about, like this much about NT. So I'm so thankful to you. And we got few questions as well from the students. And there is a question from Don Achiever. He's asking if CDU is offering PhD programs.
Yes, we do offer PhD programs. The application process is more specific for PhD and master by research. You do need to first provide an expression of interest before you can submit any application. So your expression of interest will be assessed, and then you would find a supervisor. And once you have received a response saying that your expression of interest is approved, then you can submit your application.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks for providing us the answer. And there is another student who is also asking the same question. So he just want to confirm that if there is any chance to get enrolled in PhD in physics.
Well, we don't offer physics at the university. So really what students need to do is to go to the website, to the CDU website, and look at where we offer or where our, where we're looking for our research areas. That's a really big conversation to have, particularly about research programs. So yeah, I would say definitely you want to check out the website. You want to make sure that you have a project that is aligned to the research that we're looking for at CDU. Our research tends to be aligned to the needs of the Northern Territory. So yes, and then we will assess your application kind of based on cost. And just based on its merit towards to the community, and also that it aligns to the research expertise that we have at the university.
Thank you, Cheryl. And the next question we have is from Irani, and she's asking if CDU is offering any scholarships in Master of Teaching course, and we will definitely discuss that in the scholarship part, Irani. So just stay in connected with us, and we will definitely provide you the information about the scholarships. And now, Cheryl, we will move to our next step, and we will discuss something about the popular courses. So here we will discuss about teaching first. So could you please provide us some information, like if CDU is providing any scholarships in teaching courses?
So let's wait on the scholarship part because the scholarships cover all programs. I can talk to you about the programs though first. So in education, we have a range of education programs. We have two programs that lead to basically teacher registration. That would be our Bachelor of Education. Those are 4-year programs where we have early childhood teaching, primary and secondary. Or you can do Master of Teaching. Those are 2-year programs where we have majors in early childhood and primary or secondary. So those programs have special entry requirements because they do lead to that teacher registration. They're accredited by the Australian Institute of Teaching and School Leadership and the Teacher Registration Board of the Northern Territory. We also have some other education programs. So maybe if you don't meet the English requirements for those two specific programs, we do have a Diploma of Early Childhood Education and Care. That is a vet level course. We have a Bachelor of Education Studies, a Graduate Certificate of Education and Global Learning, a Master of Digital Learning Futures, and a Master of Education Global Learning. So there's quite a few options available for education programs.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for the information. And could you please tell us something about the eligibility criteria if someone wants to get into Masters of Teaching course, like if CDU is asking for any kind of entrance test, or there is a direct entry for that course?
So you need to have a bachelor degree qualification that's equivalent to an Australian bachelor degree. And you need IELTS 7.0 with no bands less than 7.0. So that's IELTS academic is the only test that we'll assess for the Master of Teaching. And so, yes, if you meet those two requirements, you'll also need to submit a teaching capability statement. The applications will go to the College of Education to be assessed. and they will inform the admissions team whether or not you would meet the requirements for that program.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for the information. And now we will jump to the next course, which is very popular among the students today, like nowadays, because of, many students, they want to become enrolled nurse or, the registered nurse. So CDU is also providing the courses like Bachelor or Master of Nursing. So could you please provide us some information like the eligibility criteria for nursing?
Sure. So the two programs that lead to registered nurse outcomes through CDU would be the Bachelor of Nursing, which is a 3-year program that's available in Darwin, Sydney, or Perth. And we have the Master of Teaching Practice Pre-Reg, which is a 2-year program offered in Darwin and Sydney. So if you, if you're a student who's a good quality student who is ready to learn at a master level, the Master of Nursing Practice would be a good option for you. Because a lot of the students, you don't have to come through a cognate background in order to go to the Master of Nursing Practice Pre-Reg. Your requirement is that you have a bachelor degree qualification and that you have IELTS 7 with no bands less than 7. That said, we do look at your background factors when assessing the application. So to meet the admissions requirements, generally you want to have some sort of background in health, like a work background, for example, where perhaps you've worked as a carer during your stay in Australia, or maybe you are a nurse in your home country and wanting to register as a nurse in Australia. That's another good option for you, the Master of Nursing Practice Pre-Reg. The Bachelor of Nursing is a great program for anyone who, perhaps you've completed your EN registration, you've completed a diploma of nursing here in Australia. Well, then that would put you into year 2 of the Bachelor of Nursing program. And that requirement would be you have to have a year 12 equivalent, an equivalent of a 60 ATAR, and you'll need to, in your high school background, and you need to have IELTS 7 with no bands less than 7. And yes, and then we have a range of other programs in nursing, but they don't lead to, to the registration, nursing registration. Those things would be things like Bachelor of Paramedicine. We have, graduate certificate in infectious disease prevention and control, a graduate certificate in dementia studies, and a Master of Nursing Studies International, but that doesn't lead to registration. It would be for someone who's already a registered nurse and wants to upskill so that they go into maybe a better paid, a better paid position at a hospital that you work at.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for answering. And now we will jump to the last course, which is very popular as well. So we will discuss about the social work. So what is the entry criteria for bachelor or master?
Great, yes. So the Bachelor of Social Work program is a 4-year qualification at CDU. The entry requirement for that is IELTS 6 with no bands less than 6. For the Master of Social Work qualifying, there's 3 requirements for that one. It's a little bit tricky for the Master of Social Work. The first thing is that you have to have an Australian equivalent bachelor degree qualification. Now, within that qualification, you also need to have 8 units of behavioral or social science. And a lot of times students don't meet that requirement. They've got the bachelor degree qualification, but they don't have the 8 units of behavioral or social science. The third requirement is English, and that's IELTS 7 with no bands less than 7. So say you meet the bachelor requirement, you meet the IELTS requirement, but you don't meet the 8 units of behavioral or social science requirement. What you can do is apply for the Diploma of Social Care. Now, you'd have to make that application separate from the Master of Social Work qualifying. We don't package it because the AQF levels are very different from one to the other. If you complete that program, that Diploma of Social Care, it would qualify you for those 8 units of behavioral and social science. So it's not a pathway. per se, but it will allow you to meet the 8-unit requirement so that you can go in and do the Master of Social Work qualifying.
Thank you, Cheryl. And let's move on to the next question. So what are the standard English requirements like for bachelor's or master courses, like for business, IT, or engineering kind of courses? So what are the basic English?
So for any standard program, the Bachelor entry requirements are IELTS 6 with no bands less than 6. For the standard master requirements, it's IELTS 6.5 with no bands less than 6.5. We generally are looking students, I mean, for the bachelor program, obviously they have to have a year 12 equivalent qualification. If they don't meet that requirement, though, we do have foundation programs available through the CDU International College. For the master program, we are looking for a bachelor equivalent qualification. But if students don't meet that, for many of our programs, we do offer a master qualifying program through the CDU International College.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for answering this question. And now we will move to the next part. So please tell us something about the scholarship, like what kind of scholarships CDU is offering at the moment for July intake.
So we have a range of scholarships available. It's always good to check out the CDU International Scholarships page on the website, because we're constantly updating that with information on new scholarships that come out, and we do add them all the time. Currently, we have several scholarships available for Session 2, 2021. Now, when you're going to apply for a scholarship, there's a couple things you need to keep in mind. The first thing is that our scholarships are merit-based, and so we're looking for students with a certain GPA level in order to meet the requirements, the academic requirements for a scholarship.
Yeah.
The other thing that we need students to do is that they have to submit their application first. So you'll need to go to Aussizz, you'll need to submit your application, because when you apply for your scholarship, you'll need to mention your application ID in the scholarship so we can link back that application to your application to study at CDU. So the scholarships that we currently have, well, first off, we have a very good VET distinction scholarship. That's a vocational education and training scholarship. It's worth $4,000 off the first year of study. No scholarship application is required. What we're doing is offering the scholarship to the first 25 students that accept or get to the offer stage for their VET course at CDU. And that would make us very competitive. Pardon?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying thank you. Yeah.
We also have the Vice Chancellor International High Achiever Scholarship, which is 50% to 25% per year off, your total tuition fees. Now, that scholarship has a very high entry requirement. You need to have a 95 percentile score overall or higher on your highest completed qualification. So you'll need to make sure that you translate your transcripts into a percentage score from like 1 out of 100. That one will require you to submit an application, and the application is online. It's an online web form that you fill out, and that's available on the CDU International Scholarships page. The Global Excellence Scholarship is 50% off the first year and then 10% off subsequent years. And that requirement is an 80 percentile score or higher and your last completed qualification. And then finally, we have the Global Leader, which is 25% off the first year and then 10% off subsequent years. And that requirement is 70 percentile score or higher in the last completed qualification. So those scholarships, not the VET, but the Vice Chancellor, the Global Excellence, and Global Leader, they all have web form pages that you'll just need to fill out in order to complete the scholarship application. And yes, the scholarships are open, but the deadline to submit your scholarship application is the 30th of June, 2021 for semester 2. For anybody who wants to submit a scholarship application for semester 1, 2022, they're just going to have to wait until the scholarships open, because we generally only open scholarships for the upcoming semester. So scholarships should be open for semester 1, 2022, usually by mid-July to early August.
Yes, Cheryl, thank you. Thank you for giving us the information about the scholarship, because students were interested to know from the starting, because most of the students, they want to move and they're looking for the scholarship information as well. And at last, we will discuss about the intakes. So Cheryl, could you please tell us when is the next intake available in CDU for like nursing, social work, or, these teaching courses?
Yes. Okay, so for nursing and social work, the master social work and all of our nursing programs, the next available intake is going to be semester 1, 2022. So you'll need to hold off. Well, you can apply now, but you won't be able to commence until February 2022 in those programs. Most other programs, the semester intake, the next available one is semester 2, 2021. That is, to me, the best time to go to Darwin, because in July, it's dry season. It's really happening. There's like all of these, Darwin Festival and night markets and all sorts of fun things going on in Darwin. And it's the real tourism part of the year. So commencing in semester 2 is really fantastic. The last day to submit your onshore application for semester 2 is the 23rd of July. So, you'll need to start really planning and submitting that application. If you're submitting an application with advanced standing, you need to be submitting your application now, because advanced standing is a very time-consuming process. And you won't receive a full letter of offer until your advanced standing is completed. If you are offshore, if somebody's listening and they're in their home country right now, you'll need to submit your application for semester 2 by the 16th of July. And teaching commences for semester 2 on the 9th of August. And then for semester 1, applications will they're open now. They're likely the last day to apply would be probably around the 14th of February for onshore and around the 7th of February for offshore. And teaching will be commencing, I think, on the 30th of, let me just check, it's February. It would be February the 28th would be the first day of class for semester 1, 2022. So it's right at the very last day of February.
All right. Thank you, Cheryl. Well, thanks for providing us such a valuable information. I hope we answer most of the questions of the students. So I'm so thankful to you for your time. And at last, I want to tell students a fact about CDU. So CDU is an award-winning young and dynamic university, and recently placed first among all Australian universities for graduate salary and second for graduate employment. So if you're looking for a bright future or good career pathways, please call us on 0396023435 and you can discuss your case with us. And if you're looking for admission, if you want to discuss further, or if you want to get more information, you can call us on any of our Aussizz branch and we will help you out to get your admission. Thank you.
Thank you.